Hello, dear friends, and welcome to Mild History. Before we begin tonight's gentle journey, I'd love to know, where are you listening from? Perhaps you are resting beneath a soft blanket in a quiet room, perhaps drifting on a hushed train through the night, or simply sitting in the calm of a late hour. Wherever you are, I'm grateful you've chosen to spend this time here. You wake in a small village in the year 1250. The air is cool and still. Your bed is a thin layer of straw on the packed earth floor. The straw smells faintly of last year's harvest. You share the single room with your parents and 3 younger siblings. A rough wool blanket covers you all. The blanket is heavy and warm from the bodies pressed close together. Outside, the rooster has not yet crowed. Dawn is still far off. You lie quietly, listening to the soft breathing around you. The wooden shutters are closed tight against the night chill. A small crack lets in a sliver of moonlight. The light falls across the floor, showing the outline of a wooden chest in the corner. The chest holds the family's few belongings. Your mother stirs beside you. She shifts slightly, careful not to wake the others. You feel the warmth of her body through the blanket. In this small space, warmth is shared without thought. The fire in the hearth went out hours ago. Only a few embers glow faintly. The embers give off no heat now. You close your eyes again. Sleep comes in short stretches. The night is long, and the day will begin soon. When the first light appears, you will rise. There is water to fetch from the well. The well is at the edge of the village. The path is muddy from yesterday's rain. Your bare feet will feel the cold earth. But for now, you rest. The blanket rises and falls with each breath. Your father's arm rests across your mother. This closeness is ordinary. It has always been this way. Privacy is not a word you know. The room is the world at night. In noble houses, beds are larger. Curtains of heavy cloth hang around them. The curtains offer a small space apart. But here, in the village, there are no curtains. The bed is the floor. The family is the boundary. You drift toward sleep. The straw beneath you shifts slightly. A flea bites your ankle. You scratch without waking fully. Such bites are part of every night. The wool blanket traps heat and insects alike. You pull it closer. The itch fades. Tomorrow is Sunday. The priest will speak of marriage and sin. You are too young to understand all the words, but you know the rules. The church sets the days when bodies may join. Many days are forbidden. Lent comes soon. 40 days without touch. You have heard your parents whisper about it. Their voices are low, careful not to wake the children. You turn onto your side. The straw rustles softly. Your sister murmurs in her sleep. She is 6 years old. Soon she will help with the younger ones. Life moves in quiet circles. Birth, work, marriage, death. All within these walls. The night deepens. You feel the slow rhythm of the house. The beams above creak faintly as the wood settles. Mice move behind the walls. Their tiny feet make no sound you can hear, but you know they are there. They share the warmth, just as you do. Your parents married 10 years ago. The priest blessed their union at the church door. Then the village feasted. Ale flowed. Bread was shared. That night, they lay together for the first time as husband and wife. You were born the following spring. Now, years later, the act continues. It happens after the children sleep. The blanket shields the movement. You have seen nothing, but you know when it happens. The air feels different. The breathing changes. Then all is quiet again. You have no words for desire. Hunger is for bread. Thirst is for water. The body's other needs are met without naming. The church calls it duty. Your mother calls it part of life. Your father says nothing. Words are saved for prayer and work. The moon shifts. The sliver of light moves across the floor. It touches the edge of the chest. Inside are 2 shirts, a knife, a spindle. Simple things. Enough for survival. Enough for the cycle to continue. You breathe deeply. The scent of earth and wool fills your lungs. Sleep pulls at you. Tomorrow you will carry water.
You will feed the pig. You will weed the garden. The garden is small. It feeds the family through summer. Winter is harder. Food is stored in the rafters. Turnips hang in nets. Grain is kept in a clay jar. The jar is sealed with wax. Wax comes from the Lord's bees. The Lord takes most of the honey. You taste it once a year, at Christmas. Your thoughts slow. The rhythm of the house lulls you. The blanket is warm. The straw is soft enough. You slip into dreams of fields and bread. The night carries you gently. You are now 16. The cottage door creaks open at first light. You step onto the packed earth threshold. The morning mist clings to the thatch roofs. Your bare feet sink slightly into the cool mud. The path to the well is worn smooth by generations. The bucket is heavy even before water. You swing it gently as you walk. The wooden handle presses into your palm. Calluses have formed there. They protect the skin from blisters. The well sits at the village center. A stone rim surrounds the dark opening. You lower the rope. The bucket drops with a soft splash. You pull slowly. The rope burns your hands. Water sloshes against the sides. When the bucket reaches the top, you tilt it carefully. The water is cold and clear. You drink a mouthful before carrying it home. The taste is clean. It wakes you fully. Your wife waits at the door. She is 17 now. Her belly swells with the first child. She takes the bucket from you. Her fingers brush yours. The touch is brief. Work waits for no one. Inside, the fire is lit. A small pot hangs over the flames. Pottage simmers. Oats and leeks float in the broth. You break yesterday's bread into the bowl. The crust is hard. You soak it until soft. Your wife stirs the pot. Steam rises to the low beams. The child inside her kicks. She places your hand on the curve. You feel the movement. It is strange and familiar. Life grows within the same walls where you grew. The cycle turns quietly. You eat standing. The bowl warms your hands. The pottage is thin but filling. You scrape the bottom clean. Your wife saves a portion for midday. She wraps it in cloth. You will carry it to the field. The Lord's land lies beyond the village. You walk the narrow path between hedges. The hedges are hawthorn. Thorns catch at your tunic. You free yourself carefully. The field is large. Furrows run in straight lines. You take the hoe from the shed. The handle is smooth from use. You bend to the soil. The earth is damp from morning dew. You break the clumps. Seeds will go in soon. Rye for bread. Peas for pottage. Your back aches by noon. The sun climbs higher. Sweat beads on your forehead. Your wife brings water at midday. She walks slowly now. The child weighs heavy. You drink from the cup she offers. The water is warm from the sun. You sit in the shade of an oak. The leaves rustle softly overhead. You share the wrapped pottage. The bread is softer now. The leeks have cooked down. You eat in silence. Words are not needed. The field waits. The child waits. Life moves at its own pace. Afternoon brings clouds. The air grows heavy. Rain threatens. You work faster. The soil must be ready. Seeds rot if too wet. You finish the last row as drops begin to fall. You walk home through the rain. Your tunic clings to your skin. Mud cakes your feet. Your wife meets you at the door. She has heated water over the fire. You wash your hands and face. The warmth soothes tired muscles. The children from neighboring cottages play in the lane. Their laughter carries through the rain. You watch from the doorway. Soon your own child will join them. The thought brings quiet comfort. Evening comes early under the clouds. The fire burns low. You add a log from the stack. The wood is dry. It catches quickly. Flames dance across the walls. Shadows move like silent guests. Your wife sits on the bench. She mends a tear in your tunic. The needle moves in and out. Thread is precious. She uses every inch. You sharpen the knife on a stone. The blade must be ready for tomorrow. The rain drums on the thatch. The sound is steady. It lulls the mind. You feel the day's labor in every joint. Your shoulders sag. Your wife notices. She sets the mending aside. Her hands rest on your arm. The children sleep in the corner. Their breathing is soft and even. The youngest stirs. You cover him with the small blanket. His hair is damp from the rain that leaked through the roof. You wipe it gently. Night deepens. The fire settles into embers. You bank it carefully. Smoke curls toward the hole in the roof. The hole lets out the smoke. It also lets in the cold. You pull the blanket higher. Your wife lies beside you. The straw shifts under your weight. Her body is warm against yours. The child between you moves again. You place your hand there. The kicking has stopped. Sleep pulls at you both. The act waits for another night. Tonight, rest is needed. The field will call again at dawn. The child will grow. The cycle continues without haste. You close your eyes. The rain softens. The fire crackles faintly. The cottage holds you all. The walls are thin. The roof leaks in one corner. But it is home. It is enough. Sleep comes slowly. Your thoughts drift to the field, to the seeds, to the bread they will become, to the child who will eat it. The circle is complete. You are now 20. The cottage door opens to a crisp autumn morning. Frost dusts the thatch. Your breath clouds in the air. The first child, a boy, toddles behind you. He carries a small stick. He pokes the ground as you walk. The well is quiet. Most villagers still sleep. You lower the bucket. The rope slides smoothly. Water fills quickly. You lift it with one hand now. Strength has grown with years. The boy watches. His eyes are wide. He wants to help. You let him hold the handle. His small fingers slip. You steady him. Back home, your wife tends the fire. A second child nurses at her breast. The baby's lips move softly. Milk drips onto the linen shift. She wipes it with the hem. The fire crackles. A pot of barley gruel bubbles. You ladle it into wooden bowls. The boy sits on the bench. You break bread into his bowl. The crust is dark, baked in the communal oven yesterday. The oven belongs to the Lord. You pay with labor, 1 day each month. You stoke the fire. You shape the loaves. The heat blisters your arms. You eat quickly. The gruel warms your stomach. The boy spills some. You wipe his chin with your thumb. Your wife smiles faintly. Her eyes are tired. The baby has kept her awake. Nights are broken now. Outside, the village stirs. Smoke rises from chimneys. Cocks crow in sequence. You take the hoe from the shed. The handle fits your grip. You sling a sack over your shoulder. Seed for the winter field. The path to the Lord's land is longer now. New strips have been cleared. Trees felled last spring. Stumps remain. You step around them. The soil is heavy clay. It sticks to your boots. You scrape it off on a stone. You sow the rye. Handfuls scattered in arcs. The boy follows. He mimics your motion. Seeds fall in clumps. You gently correct him. The rows must be even. Birds watch from the hedges. They wait for you to turn. Mid-morning brings sun. The frost melts. Mud forms underfoot. Your tunic sticks to your back. Sweat cools in the breeze. Your wife appears at the edge. She carries the midday meal. A cloth bundle. Cheese and onion. You sit beneath the oak again. The boy eats the cheese rind. He chews slowly. The baby sleeps in a sling against her chest. Her steps are careful. The path is uneven. You take the bundle. You divide the food. The onion is sharp. It stings the eyes. Clouds gather by afternoon. You finish the sewing. The sack is empty. You tie it closed. Rain begins as you walk home. Light it first, then steady. The boy runs ahead. His laughter echoes. Inside, the fire smokes. The roof leaks near the door. You place a bowl to catch the drips. The sound is rhythmic. Your wife wrings out her shawl. Water pools on the floor. You sweep it out with a bundle of twigs. Evening chores begin. The pig must be fed. You carry kitchen scraps. The sty is behind the cottage. Mud walls the pen. The pig grunts. It roots in the trough. You scratch its back. The bristles are coarse. The cow lows from the byre. You milk her slowly. The streams hit the pail in steady beats. Foam rises. You strain it through cloth. The milk is warm. You drink a cup. The boy wants some. You let him sip. Darkness falls early. The fire is built higher. You bar the door with a wooden beam. The wind rattles the shutters. Your wife rocks the baby. The toddler climbs onto your lap. His head nods. You tell a quiet story of the fox and the hen. Your voice is low. The words come slowly. The boy's eyes close. You carry him to the straw. He curls against his brother. The baby is laid between them. Your wife banks the fire. Embers glow. You spread the blanket. The straw is fresh from last week. It smells of summer fields. You lie down. Her body fits against yours. The curve of her hip is familiar. The act begins without words. Hands find known paths. Breath mingles in the dark. The blanket shields the motion. The children sleep deeply. The rain on the thatch masks small sounds. Afterward, you lie still. Her head rests on your arm. The warmth spreads through the straw. Sleep pulls gently. The fire settles. The cottage holds its breath. You dream of full granaries, of bread rising in the oven, of children running through tall wheat. The cycle turns in your sleep. You are now 25. The cottage door opens to a soft spring dawn. Birds call from the hedgerows. The air carries the scent of turned earth. Your eldest boy, now 5, stands beside you. He holds a small wooden spade. His grip is unsure but determined. The well bucket fills quickly. The water reflects the pale sky. You let the boy pull the rope. His small arms strain. The bucket rises inch by inch. Water sloshes over the rim. You steady his hands. A few drops land on his bare feet. He giggles quietly. Inside, your wife tends 3 children now. The middle girl helps with the baby. She rocks the cradle with her foot. The cradle is carved from oak, a gift from your father-in-law. The wood is worn smooth by generations. Pottage steams in the pot. You add wild garlic gathered yesterday. The scent fills the room. The boy sits at the bench. You break bread for all. The crust yields under your thumb. The baby nurses quietly. Milk flows freely. You eat in measured bites. The garlic warms the throat. Your wife saves portions in clay bowls. Covered with cloth, they will keep till noon. You tie the bundle to your belt. The field calls early in spring. The Lord's domain has expanded again. New enclosures fence former common land. You pass the new hedge. Thorns snag your sleeve. You free the cloth carefully. The soil here is richer. Manure from the byre spreads thick. You plow with the ox team. The animals move slowly. Their breath steams in the cool air. You guide the plowshare. It cuts clean furrows. The boy follows with a sack of peas. He drops seeds at intervals. His steps are careful. Sun climbs. Sweat beads under your cap. You pause to drink from the stream. The water is cold from snowmelt. It runs clear over stones. You fill a horn cup. The boy drinks after you. His chin drips. Your wife appears at the field edge. She carries the midday bundle. The baby is strapped to her back. The girl walks beside her. They settle under the oak. You join them. The cheese is hard but flavorful. Onions crunch between teeth. The girl feeds the baby crumbled bread soaked in goat's milk. The child gums it softly. You watch the small movements. Life renews itself in quiet ways. The field will feed them all. Afternoon brings drizzle. You cover the seed rows with earth. The boy's hands are caked in mud. You wipe them on grass. Rain soaks your tunics. The walk home is slippery. The pig roots in its pen. You toss apple cores from storage. The animal grunts approval. The cow waits in the byre. You milk her steadily. Warm streams fill the pail. Foam rises high. Evening fire burns bright. You add peat from the stack. The smoke curls toward the roof hole. Your wife spins wool by the light. The spindle drops and rises. Thread grows on the bobbin. The children play with wooden animals. The boy makes the horse gallop across the floor. The girl sings softly to the baby. Her voice is a gentle hum. You sharpen tools on the whetstone. The blade gleams. Night settles. You bar the door. Rain taps the thatch. The fire settles into embers. You bank it carefully. The children curl in the straw. Their breathing evens quickly. Your wife finishes spinning. She sets the spindle aside. You spread the blanket. The fresh straw smells of meadows. She lies beside you. Her body is soft from the day. The act begins slowly. Hands trace familiar lines. Breath sinks in the dark. The blanket rises and falls. Rain masks the small sounds. The children sleep through the gentle motion. Afterward, you hold her close. The warmth spreads through the straw. Her hair smells of smoke and earth. Sleep pulls at your edges. The fire glows low. You dream of harvest, of golden sheaves stacked high, of children running between the rows. The cycle turns in quiet rhythm. You are now 30. The cottage door opens to a golden summer morning. Sunlight streams across the threshold. The air hums with insects. Your eldest boy, now 10, shoulders a small bundle of tools. He walks with purpose. The middle child, a girl of 8, carries a basket for berries. The well water sparkles in the light. You lower the bucket with ease. The rope barely strains your arms. The boy helps pull. His muscles have grown from chores. Water fills smoothly. You let him carry half the distance. His steps are steady. Inside, your wife manages 4 children now. The youngest clings to her skirt. She stirs a pot of bean stew. Herbs from the garden float on top. Rosemary and thyme release their scent. The fire burns low and steady. You break bread into bowls. The loaf is fresh from yesterday's baking. The crust cracks under pressure. Steam rises from the center. The baby gums a soft piece. Milk still flows, though less than before. You eat at the bench. The stew warms your core. Your wife wraps portions in clean cloth. She ties them with twine from last year's harvest. You secure the bundle to your belt. The field is farther now. New strips added beyond the stream. The Lord's enclosure grows yearly. Stone walls replace hedges in places. You pass through a gate. The latch is iron. It clanks shut behind you. The soil here is deep loam. Years of manure have enriched it. You harvest wheat with a sickle. The blade is sharp from last night's wetting. Stalks fall in neat rows. The boy binds, sheaves with straw ties. His knots are tight. The girl gathers loose ears into her basket. Heat builds by mid-morning. Sweat runs down your back. You pause at the stream. Cool water soothes your wrists. The children splash their faces. Droplets catch the light like tiny gems. Your wife arrives with the meal. She walks the longer path now. The baby rides on her hip. The toddler holds her hand. They settle in the shade of a willow. You unwrap the bundle. Cheese has softened in the warmth. Bread absorbs the stew's moisture. The girl feeds the baby small bits of soaked crust. The toddler naps against your wife's side. You watch the gentle rise of his chest. The field shimmers in the heat. Work resumes slowly. Afternoon sun beats down. You stack sheaves and stooks. The boy helps lift. His arms tremble but hold. Clouds gather on the horizon. Thunder rumbles distant. You finish the last row as drops begin. Rain cools the air. You cover the stooks with spare thatch. Water runs in rivulets through the furrows. The walk home is refreshing. Mud squelches between toes. The pig greets you with eager snorts. You empty a bucket of kitchen waste. The animal buries its snout deep. The cow stands patient in the byre. You milk her in the shelter of the open door. Rain drums on the roof. Evening brings a rainbow across the valley. You point it out to the children. Colors arc faint but clear. The girl traces the shape with her finger. The boy asks if gold waits at the end. You smile without answering. Fire crackles high tonight. You add apple wood from the orchard. Sweet smoke fills the room. Your wife combs the girl's hair by the light. Lice fall into the flames. The baby sleeps in the cradle. The toddler plays with wooden blocks. He stacks them carefully. They topple with a soft clatter. You rebuild the tower together. His small hands guide yours. Night deepens. You bar the door against the cooling air. The children settle in their corner. Straw pallets separate them now. Growing bodies need space. The eldest claims the bench for himself. Your wife banks the fire. Embers pulse like slow heartbeats. You spread the main blanket. The straw beneath is thick from recent renewal. She lies beside you. Her body curves familiar against yours. The act unfolds gently. Hands move with practiced ease. Breath sinks in quiet harmony. The blanket shields the motion from curious eyes. Rain on the thatch provides soft cover. The children breathe deeply in sleep. Afterward, you trace the line of her shoulder. Skin is warm and slightly damp from the day. Her hair smells of wood smoke and sun-dried linen. Sleep wraps around you both like an old friend. You dream of granaries full to bursting, of children's laughter echoing through tall wheat, of your wife's hand in yours across seasons. The cycle flows onward in gentle waves. The baby gums a softened peace. Milk has dried up now. Goat's milk fills the gap. You eat near the hearth. The stew thaws frozen fingers. Your wife wraps midday portions in wool cloth. The cold preserves them. You tuck the bundle inside your tunic. The Lord's fields lie fallow, but fences need mending. The path is hardened mud. Footprints from yesterday remain frozen. You carry a bundle of withies for weaving. The boy hauls stakes. The girl of 13 minds the younger ones at home. She spins wool by the fire. The enclosure wall has grown. Stone replaces thorn in sections. You weave the withies between posts. Fingers numb quickly. You breathe on them for warmth. The boy hammers stakes with a mallet. The sound echoes across the empty field. Mid-morning sun offers little heat. You pause in the lee of the wall. Steam rises from the tea of boiled nettles. Your wife sent it in a small flask. The liquid burns the throat but revives the body. She appears at noon with the children. The youngest rides on the boy's shoulders. They bring the wrapped stew. You sit on overturned logs. The turnips are soft now. Bread absorbs the broth. The toddler feeds crumbs to the crows. They hop close, unafraid. The girl tells of the morning's spinning. Her fingers show small cuts from the distaff. You nod approval. Skill grows with practice. Afternoon wind picks up. You finish the weaving. The wall stands stronger. Snow flurries begin as you gather tools. The walk home quickens against the cold. The pig huddles in its shelter. You add straw for warmth. The animal burrows deep. The cow gives less milk in winter. You strain what little comes. The cream rises slowly. Evening fire burns high with stored wood. You add beech logs from the Lord's forest. Permission was granted last Michaelmas. Smoke curls thick but sweet. Your wife roasts chestnuts in the ashes. The children gather round. The eldest tells a tale of St. Nicholas. His voice has deepened. The younger ones listen wide-eyed. The baby falls asleep in your wife's lap. Her head nods against your knee. Night falls early. You bar the door against the wind. Snow taps the shutters. The children settle in layers of straw and blankets. The eldest claims the warmest corner near the hearth. Your wife banks the fire carefully. Embers glow like distant stars. You spread the main blanket. The straw beneath retains the day's faint heat. She lies beside you. Her body seeks yours instinctively. The act begins with quiet urgency. Cold drives closeness. Hands find warmth beneath wool. Breath mingles in small puffs. The blanket forms a cocoon against the frost. Children sleep soundly, bundled tight. Afterward, you hold her against the chill. Skin to skin transfers heat. Her hair carries the scent of peat smoke and roasted chestnuts. Sleep descends like fresh snow, soft and complete. You dream of spring planting, of green shoots pushing through thawed earth, of children's bare feet running free. The cycle endures through the longest nights. You are now 45. The cottage door opens to a gentle autumn dusk. The sky glows soft orange above the hedgerows. Your hair has turned mostly gray. Your hands are thick with years of soil and wood. The eldest boy left last spring. He now works the Lord's distant grange. The cottage feels larger without him. The well rope creaks more slowly in your grip. The bucket rises heavy with evening water. Your second son, now 17, walks beside you in silence. His shoulders carry the yoke easily. You nod approval. Strength has passed from one generation to the next. Inside, your wife sits by the low fire. Her hands rest in her lap. The youngest girl, 12, tends the pot. Pottage thick with beans and bacon ends from the Lord's Michaelmas gift. The scent is rich and comforting. You ladle the stew into fewer bowls now, for children remain at home. The eldest girl married last harvest and lives 3 cottages down. Her baby's cry sometimes drifts through the night air. You smile faintly when you hear it. You eat slowly. The beans are soft, the bacon salty. Bread is lighter these days. The harvest was good. Your wife breaks pieces for the youngest. Her fingers tremble slightly. Joints ache in cold weather. The midday bundle was smaller today. You mended harness in the barn instead of the open field. Leather smells of oil and horse. Your eyes tire faster in dim light. The second son took the heavier tasks. You guided more than lifted. Evening chores are shared. The boy milks the cow while you feed the pig its mash. The animal has grown fat for winter slaughter. You scratch behind its ears out of habit. The bristles are coarse under calloused fingers. Firelight flickers across the walls. You add apple wood saved from pruning. The sweet smoke curls gently. Your wife spins by the light, though slower now. The spindle drops and rises in measured rhythm. The children gather around the hearth. The youngest girl combs her sister's hair for lice. Small creatures fall into the flames with tiny pops. The boy sharpens a knife on the whetstone. The sound is steady and familiar. You tell them of the old days, of plague years when half the village lay silent, of harvests so poor the Lord forgave rent. Your voice is low and even. They listen without interrupting. Memory passes quietly from parent to child. Night settles early. Frost already rims the shutters. You bar the door with the same beam your father carved. The children spread their pallets. Straw rustles softly. Blankets are layered thick against the coming cold. Your wife banks the fire. Embers glow like small hearts. She moves carefully, favoring her left hip. Years of carrying water and children have left their mark. You help her to the bed place. The straw has thinned over summer. You added fresh layers last week. It still smells faintly of meadow grass. You lie down together. The space feels wider without small bodies pressed close. Her hand finds yours under the blanket. Skin is thinner now, veins prominent. You trace the familiar lines. The act begins without hurry. Movement is slower, gentler. Breath mingles in the quiet dark. There is no urgency, only comfort. Bodies know each other completely. The blanket rises and falls in soft waves. Children sleep deeply on their pallets. The fire settles into dull red. Afterward, you lie side by side. Her head rests on your shoulder. Gray hair spreads across the straw like moonlight. You feel the steady beat of her heart against your ribs. Sleep drifts in on silent feet. You dream of the cottage when it was new, of your wife's dark hair catching firelight, of children's laughter filling every corner. The memories blend with the present like smoke and warmth. Outside, the first owl calls. Its voice carries across frozen fields. The cycle has turned many times. It turns still. You are now 60. The cottage door opens with the same familiar creak, yet it takes two hands to push it against the wind. Winter has settled early this year. Frost feathers the inside of the shutters. Your breath hangs white in the dim morning light. Your youngest son lifts the water yoke now. He moves without waiting for you. The well rope is stiff with ice. You watch from the doorway. Your legs prefer the warmth of the hearth. The boy returns with full buckets. Water slops over the rim and freezes in small patches on the ground. Inside, the fire is already laid by your granddaughter. She is 14 and lives here since her mother's fever last spring. Your wife sits wrapped in the oldest blanket. Her hands rest quiet in her lap. The joints are swollen. She no longer spins. Only two bowls wait on the bench. Pottage is thin. The harvest was poor after summer drought. You break yesterday's bread carefully. The crust cracks like thin ice. You soak it long in the broth. Your wife eats slowly. Teeth are fewer now. The midday bundle is no longer needed. You rarely leave the cottage. The Lord excused you from labor 3 winters ago. Your sons tend the strips that once were yours. You sit by the fire and mend small things. A broken cradle rung, a torn sack, a child's wooden toy. The pig was slaughtered last week. Salt pork hangs from the rafters in cloth bags. The scent of smoke and meat fills the room. Your granddaughter turns the joints daily so they cure evenly. She moves with the same quiet grace her grandmother once had. Evening comes quickly. The fire is fed with peat and the last of the apple wood. Light flickers across the walls, picking out every crack and patch. The beams above are black with centuries of smoke. You carved your name there when you were young. It is still visible if you know where to look. Your granddaughter combs your wife's hair. The strokes are gentle. Strands of white fall like late snow. She gathers them and burns them in the fire. Your wife's eyes are closed. She dozes in the warmth. You tell the girls stories of earlier winters, of the great frost when the river froze solid, of the year wolves came close to the village. Your voice is softer than it once was, but the words still carry. She listens without moving. Night folds around the cottage. The boy bars the door. The wind rattles the shutters like old bones. The 3 of you settle on the wide bed place. Straw has been renewed with the last of the summer cutting. It still holds a faint sweetness. Your wife lies in the center now, the place of greatest warmth. You lie on her left, the girl on her right. Blankets are piled thick, wool, patched linen, an old cloak from better years. Bodies share what heat remains. There is no act tonight, nor has there been for several winters. Touch is different now. Your hand rests on your wife's arm. Her skin is thin and cool, but familiar. She covers your fingers with hers. The gesture is enough. The girl's breathing slows first. Youth falls easily into sleep. Your wife follows. Her breath is shallow yet steady. You listen to it the way you once listened to rain on thatch. The fire sinks to embers. A single log shifts in size. Outside, snow begins to fall. It hushes the world. The cottage holds its small circle of warmth against the vast night. You remember other nights, the press of young bodies, the quiet urgency under blankets, the soft sounds masked by children's breathing. Memory drifts like smoke. It brings no sadness, only the gentle weight of years well lived. Sleep comes without effort now. It is a friend who visits earlier each evening. Your thoughts loosen and float. You see the village as it was when you were a boy, then as it was when your children filled it, then as it is now with new voices rising where yours fall silent. The cycle has turned countless times. It turns still. Your hand stays on your wife's arm. Her pulse flutters faintly beneath paper-thin skin. The girl shifts closer in her sleep. Outside, snow covers the fields you once plowed, the paths you once walked, the well you once drew from. Everything is softened, stilled, made gentle. You breathe in the scent of wood smoke, wool, and the faint sweetness of straw. The cottage creaks once, settles, and is quiet. Sleep carries you the rest of the way.